Hi, it's Shelby, your San Jose Summer Mojo. I just wanted to take some time to tell you about my adventures in Costa Rica now that I've been home for a while and I'm kind of adjusted back to the norm again. So, I guess where to start. Before I left the country, I was traveling all over I had a chamber choir tour through my college. I was competing in track nationals, and I had my brother's graduation too. So, needless to say, I had so little time to prepare for my departure. And I was also flying for the first time, so I was a little anxious to hop on a couple planes by myself in big airports. And I guess it's pretty normal to feel a little anxious before you leave. I found this out after I arrived and talked to a couple other of the people in the program, and they also said they were thinking things like, why in the heck am I doing this? Or is something bad going to happen to me? Or am I going to make it home alive? Um, but pre-departure syndrome is pretty normal. Everybody kind of goes through some stages of, is this safe, or is everything going to be okay? But I assure you that it will, and that you're just going through something that's pretty normal, and it will subside. But anyway, so after I arrived in Costa Rica, my first few days were such a whirlwind because I showed up late the first night because of some flight delays, and I had to be ready to go really early in the morning the next day for orientation. And I got totally lost my first 2 days in San Jose with my three roommates, luckily. And we were super late to orientation, but it was not a big deal. We made up time and everything was alright in the end. And I guess next thing you know, we're on the loose exploring Costa Rica. So, what a change in just a week, our first week there. But I grew up so quickly, and I didn't even realize how much I was changing through all of this until now I'm able to sit back and kind of reflect on it. It's just so crazy how much you can experience just by leaving your comfort zone and traveling to a new culture. So, one of my favorite memories of Costa Rica was one weekend we had an excursion to Manuel Antonio National Park, and they kind of took us to this resort really close by, and we stayed there. And during the day, we just went into the park and did some exploring, and just looked around at all the nature and the wildlife that Costa Rica has to offer. And it was so eye-opening, and there were so many beautiful beaches there, and I saw creatures I've never even seen before, not even in the zoo. But we also saw a sloth come down from a tree, and they only do that once a week. So I'm pretty sure I took well over 500 pictures that weekend on my camera. But did I mention I'm still craving the cocoa banana smoothie I had at a random rest stop we had that weekend on our way there? Because Costa Rica has the best fruit ever, and it just simply can't be beat. Um, it's so crazy that you come there, in most cases, you don't know anybody before you show up, unless you decided to travel with a friend. But most people there are in the total same situation where they're going to this new culture and they have to adjust just like you have to adjust and everything. And um, before you know it, you're making friends, and your roommates seem like old friends that you've known for your whole life or something. And I was so fortunate to have my three roommates, Elsa, Michelle, and Carly, because they were there for me, and we all just wanted to have fun together, and they were totally supportive when I was having my off days, which are assured to happen from time to time when you're going through this culture shock. Um, I learned that sometimes it can be really hard to just simply absorb the culture when you want the comfort of home. I mean, for Pete's sake, when I went to the grocery store for the first time I was down there, I couldn't even find a granola bar in the store. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go hungry or something, but you'll find things that you like. And so I ended up eating a lot of fresh fruit and like I mentioned before, the fruit in Costa Rica is just something you have to try. You have to try all of the weird looking ones with spikes and squishy, and yeah, you just have to try them. There's so many good fruits in Costa Rica. Um, but nonetheless, despite all these culture changes, I had one of the best experiences of my life in CR, and I learned so much about the language and culture. And in the meantime, I learned so much about myself. If you have time, please take a look at my latest blog about it's kind of another reflection on some things I went through from the beginning of the process to study abroad all the way to coming home and adjusting back here. But it's just so crazy that I was able to experience that in my life, and that's something I will never forget or never trade for anything. I would go back to that beautiful place in a heartbeat, and I imagine that someday I will return there. If you ever get the chance to go there or to study abroad, grab the opportunity, and I will always carry a piece of Costa Rica in my heart. If you ever have any questions about Costa Rica, traveling, or studying abroad, feel free to contact me via email, which is here in the blog, or via Facebook. I would love to talk to you and connect with you about that. But for now, travel abroad and learn your potential.